In the vibrant chaos of San José, Costa Rica, Camila has always been her family's rock, fixing their messes, carrying their burdens. But when their demands push her to the breaking point, she disappears into a new life, leaving them in the dark. As her family's betrayal unravels, Camila wages a quiet war, exposing their secrets on a public stage. Will her silence become her greatest strength, or will the cost of freedom haunt her forever? This gripping 20-minute drama to uncover a story of courage, betrayal, and the power of standing up for yourself.
San José, Costa Rica's beating heart. The colors, the noise, the crowds, they swallow you whole. But my prison was different, invisible. I'm 30, a financial analyst. I spend my days in glass-walled skyscrapers, wrestling with numbers, crafting order from chaos. My life looks polished, planned, free of drama. At least that's the facade. But that order came at a steep cost. I've always been my family's reliable one. Their fixer, their lifeline, their anchor. And that role, it's been carving pieces out of me, year after year, until I barely recognized myself. My sister Sophia, 2 years older, is a hurricane tearing through everyone's lives. Impulsive, manipulative, always one step from disaster. My mom, Elena, and my dad, Marco, they're good people, overflowing with love. But their love became a quiet surrender, always sweeping Sophia's messes under the rug. For them, fixing problems meant pretending they didn't exist. And I was left to pay the price for their denial. At work, there's Mateo, a quiet friend who sees more than he says. He hands me coffee, offers a smile after a brutal day. Anna, my co-worker, is all sunshine but careless. Her slip-up would turn my world upside down, but I didn't know it then. It all started one Sunday evening. Mom's famous arroz con pollo sat on the table, but the air was thick, heavy with unspoken words. Sophia was glued to her phone, dodging everyone's eyes. Dad sat silent, his shoulders slumped like he carried the world. Mom's smile was forced, trying too hard to mask the tension. My gut screamed that something was coming, something bad. Mom set her fork down, her eyes locking onto mine, trembling but resolute. "Sophia's going to stay with you for a while," she said. It wasn't a question. It was a command, like my life wasn't mine to decide. I forced a smile, my lips tight. If it'll help Sophia get back on her feet, why not? But inside, a storm was raging. They didn't know it, but I'd moved out of that apartment weeks ago. That decision wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing. It was years in the making, a river of resentment swelling until it finally broke free. Being used by my family wasn't just a feeling. It was my reality, etched into my bones. I sold my tidy little apartment in downtown San Jose without breathing a word to anyone. I moved to a modest rental on the city's edge, where the mountains loom close, their quiet strength calling to me. Every document I signed, every box I packed, snapped another chain. Was this freedom? I wasn't sure, but for the first time, I was choosing myself. The nights I spent organizing my new place, arranging books on shelves, hanging a single painting of the Pacific coast, it felt like reclaiming pieces of my soul. I'd walk to the window, stare at the distant peaks, and breathe. Just breathe. Looking back, I see how naive I was, or maybe too kind, too willing to carry their burdens. When I was 10, Sophia tricked me into giving her my birthday money for a special project. She spent it on candy and never looked back. I cried, but Mom said, "She's your sister, Camila. Share." At 22, I co-signed a loan for Sophia's shiny red car. Sitting in that bank, my stomach churned, but I stayed silent. Sophia flashed her carefree smile. That car was her freedom, my shackles. When Dad lost his job, the mortgage payments piled up. I'd just started as an analyst, barely making ends meet, but I paid off his debts with my own paycheck. Each transfer felt like a piece of me slipping away. "Me again?" I'd whisper, staring at my empty bank account. The night Sophia got arrested for drunk driving, the phone jolted me awake at midnight. I rushed to the police station, paid the lawyer fees, and felt the hollow weight of my wallet. Then there was Sophia's party, where she humiliated me in front of her friends. "Camila always fixes everything," she said, her smirk cutting deeper than her words. That night, something broke inside me. I'm not their daughter, I thought. I'm their solution. That truth reshaped me. I stopped answering their texts. I put my phone on silent. I dodged family dinners with flimsy excuses. Every ignored call was a brick in the wall I was building. I crafted my silence, my shield. But I knew it couldn't last forever. They'd come for me, and I'd have to face them. The day arrived, a Sunday afternoon. My family showed up at my old apartment, boxes in hand. Sophia, Mom, Dad, their faces lit with relief, like they'd been handed a lifeline. But a stranger opened the door. The new tenant. They were stunned, their voices rising in panic. Sophia screamed, "Where's Camila?" Mom broke into tears. Dad's fists clenched tight. Somehow they tracked me to my new place. Anna had let my address slip to Sophia during a careless chat at work. I should have been furious, but Anna didn't mean harm. My doorbell rang over and over, each chime echoing years of demands, expectations, accusations. I opened the door. There they stood. Sophia's eyes blazed with fury. Mom's were red with tears. Dad's face was pure defeat. Mom's voice cracked as she pleaded, "Camila, why would you do this to us?" Dad shouted, "This is selfish. Are you throwing us out on the street?" Sophia, as always, turned it on herself. "You betrayed me." I stayed calm, my voice steady. No trace of guilt or regret. I said, "If it'll help Sophia, why not?" That was for the old place. This is my home now. I'm not taking anyone in. Sophia lunged at the door, trying to force her way inside. My hand reached for my phone. "I'm calling the cops," I said, my tone unyielding. "You're trying to break into my home." The police arrived. My family backed off, their eyes a mix of shock, rage, and despair. But I stood firm. This wasn't revenge, not yet. This was my escape from the prison I'd built for myself, the one they'd helped construct. My final stand for freedom. But the fight wasn't over. They took to social media, their weapon of choice. They branded me heartless, disloyal, the daughter who abandoned her family. San Jose's gossip circles lit up with my name. Whispers followed me, at the coffee shop, in the office hallways. I felt their judgment like a weight, but I refused to carry it. This time, I didn't stay silent. I gathered my proof. Sophia's car loan, Dad's mortgage payments, the lawyer bills from her arrest. Every sacrifice I'd made, documented in cold, hard numbers. I sat at my desk, the glow of my laptop illuminating the quiet of my new home. I poured it all into a blog post. "I didn't abandon my family," I wrote. "I stopped being their emotional debt collector." I hit publish, my heart pounding but sure. A local San Jose radio show found the post. They invited me to speak. Sitting in that studio, the microphone in front of me, I told my story. Sophia's manipulations, my parents' silent demands, the years I spent fixing their messes. My voice didn't waver. Listeners flooded the station with texts. Some called me cruel, others called me brave. I didn't care what they thought. I'd spoken my truth. The next day, I ran into Senora Rosa, the old neighbor who used to watch me and Sophia play as kids. She'd heard the radio show. "You did what you had to," she said softly, her eyes kind but sad. It wasn't approval, but it was understanding. That moment stayed with me, a quiet reminder that I wasn't as alone as I'd thought. Months passed. My family went silent. No calls, no texts, no posts. It was the greatest gift they could have given me. At work, Mateo was there, steady as ever. He'd hand me coffee, flash a smile, no questions asked. Anna apologized for the address slip-up, her voice shaky with guilt. I told her it was okay she didn't know. I started spending more time outside, away from the city's chaos. One evening, I hiked a trail near San José's edge. The mountain air was cool, sharp, filling my lungs with something new. I stood there, watching the sun dip below the peaks, painting the sky in hues of gold and violet. Another night, I sat on my balcony, sipping herbal tea, the mountain silhouette steady in the distance. The only sound was the rhythmic chirping of tree frogs in the tropical night. There was no victory parade, no tears, just silence. Real silence for the first time. The crushing weight I'd carried was gone. This wasn't a story of running away. It was the story of a woman who stopped running. I reclaimed my worth, my space, my silence. I thought about Sophia, about the little girl she used to be before the chaos took over. I thought about Mom and Dad, their love tangled in denial. I didn't hate them. I just couldn't carry them anymore. And I knew deep down that this silence, this hard-won, beautiful silence, was my greatest strength.